Before we get into this special weekend edition of Just the Truth, let me tell you about the latest special from Mike Lindell at MyPillow. The standard MyPillow, normally $49.98 for a limited time only, just $14.88 with promo code Joey. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener specials, and see all the specials. There's a limited quantity of just 10 at this special price. That's $14.88 with promo code Joey. Thanks for joining me in the PhD Weight Loss Studio. To lose weight for the last time, visit myphdweightloss.com. Continuing our series of interviews with mayors of the Upstate, we move over to the northern part of Greenville County to a place that has played a pretty special place in my life, and that's the city of Travelers Rest. Joining us today, Mayor Brandy Amidon, the youngest person ever elected and the first female to serve as mayor. Welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having this series. I love that some local mayors get the spotlight and we get to brag about our cities.
Well, it's been a lot of fun being able to meet a lot of the mayors in the upstate of South Carolina and just learning the stories. I love history anyway. So let's start with that. I always ask the mayors to give me their elevator speech about their city. So what's your elevator speech for Travelers Rest?
So first of all, I have to just say I grew up here. So I have this very unique perspective, and Joey, you too, about what TR used to be. But my elevator pitch for us, we have always been community. So a place where you feel special, you walk into your coffee shop, they know your name, that very much small town. We get compared to Mayberry and the Hallmark movies, and all of that is very much TR. Now we have a lot of amenities that people love, like the Swamp Rabbit Trail and restaurants, but it really is about community. So this is a really great small town to be a part of.
Yeah. Funny that you mentioned that, because I want to tell you 37 years ago, I guess it was, when I was looking to start a nationwide insurance agency, which I ended up in Travelers Rest, but I wasn't sure. I grew up in Greer. I wasn't sure where I was going to open this, and I had the flexibility of going anywhere within Greenville County. So I visited, actually, maybe I shouldn't tell you the other cities I visited, but I visited some other cities, and my process was this. I would go have breakfast or lunch, and I just kind of walk around, and I would talk with people to see how, open the city was. And Travelers Rest by far was the most welcoming city. In fact, they were a little too nosy at times, wanting to know what I was doing around, what I was hanging around the restaurant for or whatever. But, and an example of that was when I did decide it was Travelers Rest, and I put up a temporary sign. Eddie Fuel, who had just started at the Bank of Travelers Rest, stopped in to say hello and to offer me their banking services. I opened an account with the Bank of Travelers Rest, and I've been there ever since.
See, that's very TR. That's a great story. I actually have one to go along with it. So Martha Cox just passed away, and she was of Martha's Hardware in Travelers Rest, and so a Main Street staple for a number of years. And I remember running for office and going in there and meeting Martha. I bought a paintbrush and kind of talking to her about what I was thinking for city council. And she promoted me so hard that people thought she was my grandmother for the longest time. But that's community. Like, They take you in, they love on you. That's very much here. That's why people are wanting to move here. Yeah. They want that.
Yeah. Yeah. And, we're starting to lose some of those people like Martha. We just said goodbye to Murray Garrett, who was mayor for a long time. So let's talk about, when did you decide that you wanted to be mayor of Travelers Rest, and why?
Yeah, so I was a 26, 27-year-old having breakfast with my husband and read about a guy who came into city council in a special election and nobody ran against him. And I just remembered student council middle school campaigning with buttons and signs, and I was like, this guy didn't have to run. He just signed a paper. Nobody was running against him. And my husband's like, why are you so upset about this? Why don't you run? And I realized I didn't know who the mayor was. I did not know what they did on city council. And so I just started going to the meetings. I try to tell young people, just show up. You learn so much. And I started going to the meetings, and they talk about money all the time. I'm a CPA, so accountant is my day job. And I was like, wait a minute, I know about money, and just really fell into it from there. And I love being a part of the change that happens to my hometown, seeing good things kind of pop up. So it's really, we're nonpartisan here, so there's never any of that Republican, Democrat. It is just about the people, and that's the good stuff of life. I really, really enjoy my job.
Yeah, and boy, has the city changed quite drastically over the years. And I got to tell you my Swamp Rabbit Trail story, too. So Murray, that the rail was on again, off again. In fact, I almost purchased a lot. It's still vacant. It's the lot across the street from the post office there. But I almost purchased that from the Rowe family years ago when I was looking to build another office. But the railroad track came through it, and you never knew if it was going to be used or not. I mean,
Yep.
Ken Sprouse was my longtime CPA, and now the Highsmiths are. But the rail ran through their parking lot, and so there were
You had
times
to
that,
move your cars.
yeah, I mean, I would be in Ken's office and doing my taxes, and we'd hear the horn blowing, and I have to go move my car. so I just wasn't quite sure. Hindsight, I wish I'd have bought that lot now. But so Murray Garrett called a group of us in to City Hall, said, we got some things we want to talk about. And it hadn't been that long prior to this that a group of us had actually gone downtown Greenville, rode the train back up to Traverse Rest when one of the manufacturers up there had started using the rail again. In fact, I still have the gold spike that I was given that day.
Yeah, I rode the train recently, the last one.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so Murray calls us to this meeting, and we're thinking about the county's thinking about maybe giving up the track, and here's some ideas and all. And this was in the very early stages. Mayor, I don't know that there was a single person in that room who thought that was a good idea. I don't know that any of us thought anyone would get on their bicycle and ride from Greenville to Travelers Rest.
Yeah, it's very interesting to have that perspective when now we literally have other municipalities coming to tour TR and saying, how can we get what you have? And I think that's part of the job of being a mayor. Sometimes you take some hard hits for things that you really think are going to be good for your community, but you're also changing things. And Joey, that makes people nervous. We do not like change, and we just kind of want to fight it every step of the way. But that is your job as mayor. Like, how are you being a visionary for your community? And those guys stepped up. That was a hard decision to make, and they could have said no, but really the Swamp Rabbit has been the catalyst for all the things that you see in TR. So knowing what what if they would have said no to that? Would we have then been in hindsight saying, oh man, I wish we would have said yes to that. Look what we missed out on.
Yep. With me today, Mayor of Travelers Rest, Brandy Amidon. I've talked with a number of mayors throughout the Upstate. I've talked with the mayor of Landrum, Inman, Campobello. Mayor Briggs over in Landrum is hoping that the Saluda Grade Trail, a project that they're in the middle of now, will do the same thing for Landrum that it's done for Travelers Rest.
Yeah. I remember part of that conversation too, because I had come on city council kind of at the very start of the trail and the Main Street renovations. And I was sitting in a meeting, and I remember somebody said, those bikers are not going to spend money when they come into town. And so there was a perception it was just cyclists that were coming. But you go out and walk around Travelers Rest, we're all walking. It's grandparents, it's, moms with strollers. It is a linear part that goes straight through Main Street. And so there's some of that of these other cities, please, I would love to have that in my town. And they're really begging for it. They also see the economic development. Look at our Main Street. I've got one building and a half that is empty, and it's just filled up, and it's bikeable and walkable. And so, we've been a nice beta tester, really thanks to some of those early decision makers and leaders that roughed it out and probably got a lot of pushback from constituents, but they felt that was the best vision for the city. They did a good job.
Yeah. Speaking of change, the city, of course, has been in the spotlight recently with the proposal by the Divine Group of the Inn at Altamont. Now, I know there's probably things you can't talk about, specifics and all, but is there anything that you can tell us about the project?
Yeah, I think it's really interesting where a lot of cities are different in how they annex. And I think that's really the conversation of how are you growing your city and what that looks like. And, some cities like Greer and Greenville are big annexers. They have utilities that fund revenue. Here in the city, we really don't have any of those needs. It's just about community and how we're doing infill. And so for us, when an annexation conversation comes up, it has to be about what's good for the whole. And this one is very controversial because it's talking about something that's very sacred to all of us that live here, Paris Mountain. And so that has been a big deal. They haven't officially applied with the city yet. Part of our uniqueness in our zoning and annexation requests is that we require a community meeting, and that's supposed to be the developer's job to go and tell the community what's coming or what they'd like to see. take feedback, and then file with the city. So we're still waiting on kind of that second step, and then we'll be able to kind of jump in and, see and start to have those debates and conversations about what's good for the city. But that is really part of this. How do you grow these municipalities in a good, healthy way? And Joey, too, as a local, there's some of that tension and territorialness, if that's a word, where it's like, don't take away something that I have or something that we have that's really good. And so that's really our job as elected officials, to make sure we make good decisions that don't take us backwards. It's how we're taking us forward.
Yeah, and that's a tough part, because people love to, well, that's not how we've done it around here, or, it's always been like this. And particularly in a smaller town like Travelers Rest. So other than the possibility of maybe a hotel, talk with us about the future growth of Travelers Rest. Do you feel like it's been managed well?
I think we've done a great job. I give this example. We had a planning director before we had a public works department of two. So we have seen, as a city, the importance of planning. 20 years ago, for example, we knew that growth was coming. Now, did we know it was going to be this low? Did I know that every other state in the United States wanted to move to Travelers Rest? No, I did not particularly know that. But we were very intentional, like, if we're going to grow, what does this look like and how can we do it well? And so our kind of values are also protection of this small town character that we worked really hard, knowing that we're going to grow, but kind of focus on infill, which is where we already are. So that is some of that. If we're going to grow and annex a housing development or a hotel or any type of business, how is it kind of contributing to the whole of Travelers Rest? But yeah, it's been really interesting to think of what will TR look like 10 years from now. And I think some of our learnings is just to keep doing the things that we do really well. Outdoor spaces, we're becoming this kind of hub for hanging out at the trail and exercising and, outdoor things. And so we actually just took on 3 county parks that are now a part of the city of Travelers Rest: Gateway, the rest of Trailblazer, and Poinsett. And so that's really part of our growth program and maintenance, is like, how can we have more outdoor space, preservation of green space, make it public, get people out there moving. I had a really great conversation with some middle schoolers last year, and they really I think they're seeing them kind of shift from this technological world to, like, they want to be outside.
Yeah.
They want to fish. They want to walk, and they want to be in the sun, and they want to fly kites and do Frisbee golf. And so that's really what we're going to push from a growth standpoint. And then also small businesses. We're doing this project on Poinsett over where Leopard Forest and Chicora Alley, that kind of end of town, extending Main Street. And so again, something we know works. You want a small business that you love and the owners, and how can we kind of contribute to that same growth that we've had? We're not trying to bring in a Six Flags or anything crazy that goes against the TR. It's small character, but also small business, and just keeping people connected.
Yeah. Mayor Brandy Amidon is with me from Travelers Rest today. If a business reaches out to you and is talking about maybe relocating to Travelers Rest, what do you tell them about the city?
Yeah, I love when business owners are considering us, kind of like you were making your decision about where to start your business or open up your office. They really are curious about just what you did, which is, how are people really how do they feel? How do they support you? We really have this great group of humans that live here that are like, hey, True Broth, we're going to go support them. We're going to make sure we brag about the Vietnamese coffee that everyone loves. And so I think they're looking for a sense of community. Bridge City Coffee is a great example. They're on Wade Hampton, and they just have such a great mission. And they were looking at a second store, and we had conversations. I'm like, come to TR, see what we've got. And they came here for community, and they're doing such a great job. I've been joking. I'm like, I'm going to have to find a new coffee shop because every time I go in there, it's so busy. But they're really looking for that kind of connection to that small town. But they want to know that the city is going to support them in whatever their business is.
Yeah. Once you were elected mayor, was there just a big surprise, something with the job that you didn't expect?
A surprise. I was on council before, and so I thought I kind of knew things, Joey. It's like nobody prepares you you don't go to college to learn how to be a mayor or anything like that. There's not courses they teach at Greenville Tech. And so a friend of mine who's a mayor, he was like, Brandy, when you're in that middle seat, it's different. And I kind of thought, I'm like, whatever, but he was right. When you sit in that middle seat, you have a different responsibility, and I don't know, you just care in a whole different level. And so I think the weight of that sometimes gets me. I remember driving through Main Street one morning after I dropped off my daughter, and I had this like almost sick feeling. I'm responsible for this entire city. Like, this is so much like, but then I kind of came back to, I'm like, I am not. We have we have the best police chief, fire chief, our city administrator. We have this whole staff. We have the best council. You're never going to see our council, getting crazy and yelling at each other on TV or throwing things. Like, we just have really good people here. And so I think that was one of it, like this personal weight, but then like, no, this is a team and we're in this together.
Yeah. One of the things when I tell people about Travelers Rest, their first question is, well, Travelers Rest, how did it get its name? Did Travelers really rest there? You want to give us about a 1-minute history?
That's it. That sums it up. Travelers really came and rested here. We were kind of the spot before you would go up to the mountains or before you would go to Greenville. And so we started to become this hub where people needed to take a break. And so we talk a lot about drovers, where they had animals and they would come here and rest before they went to the city and, sold their animals. And so that really is part of our DNA, is just coming to rest. So we have swings at our city hall. We have swings on Main Street, and that is part of it. I want people to come here and feel connected and be like, okay, I can rest. All is going to be well. And so that is part of what we're trying to sell. But that comes from the very beginning. It was just a sweet spot where people could come, take a load off before they had to go back to work.
Yeah. And those swings at City Hall are fabulous. Those are the most amazing.
Are they fun?
Yes, they are. They are for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mayor Brandy Amidon, thank you for your time today and for just a glimpse of Travelers Rest. And I appreciate your time, and I love the city, of course, and look forward to seeing you around. Maybe when the Poinsett project there is finished, will there be like a ribbon cutting or anything for that?
Yeah, we'll have to go to lunch at Chicora. They've been such a great partner and so patient. We'll have to do that.
All
and
right.
Thank you so much for highlighting our cities. I think that's really important. We care about our municipalities, and you're doing a great job at that. Thank you.
Well, thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Your comments are welcome on the Firmin Ford text line, 864-477-JOEY. That's 864-477-5639. Emails always welcome, joey@joeyhudson.com.
You may have seen some of their social media posts over the past few weeks. The Greenville County Animal Care has some exciting news. They're getting some much-needed renovation to improve conditions for the many pets they serve. But like all renovations, there's going to be some challenges to make this happen. On our guest line to tell us all about it and how we can help is Community Relations and Events Coordinator for Greenville County Animal Care and Control, Andrea Espinosa. Andrea, welcome. How are you?
Thank you. Doing well. Thank you for having me.
Well, sure thing. And wow, I mean, as if you don't stay busy enough, you've got a lot going on there. And this renovation starts on Monday. Give us an overview of the work to be done and how we can help.
Yes, thank you. So we are very excited. It's been a long time coming for us to be able to do some improvements to our facilities, which is definitely going to improve the conditions of the animals, all of the pets in our care. And also it's going to make a great impression, we hope, for all of our visitors in the future. So we're going to be undergoing renovations throughout the entire facility, and we're going to be doing it in different phases. So starting on Monday, it's going to be our administration building and our cat section. And then this should take about 2 weeks, and in the following 2 weeks, we're going to move forward with the dog kennels. So during this time, we are going to still be able to offer all of our services at a limited availability, and we're definitely looking forward to having as much support as we can get from the public in helping us fostering or adopting all of the cats and the dogs in our care that we're going to need to relocate while we're doing all of the renovations.
Yeah. Now, Andrea, I've noticed this week some of your posts that you said that you had as many as 50 or so that you needed homes for. How have things gone this week? Have you had some success?
Right. So we have been very grateful for all of the responses we have received so far. There's a lot of people, a lot of families inquiring on how to foster and how to adopt, and both are great resources and great options to help us. So if anyone is interested in fostering or adopting, they can either visit us in person at the shelter, and our staff will be able to give you all of the information and resources of how to proceed with either fostering or adopting and what may be the best option for you at this time. Or you can also visit our website, greenvillepets.org, where we have a lot of information also listed and our contact number and email addresses, so you can get in direct contact with our staff and find out more of the availability of the pets and cats we have available for foster and adoption and how to make an appointment, or you can just walk into the shelter to come meet them.
Yeah. Andrea Espinosa is with us today. We're talking about the Greenville County Animal Care and this fabulous renovation they have coming up, but it is creating some challenges for the short term. And as I understand it, Andrea, this is going to be for like 8 weeks or so, right?
Yes, so each section we're approximating it's going to take about 2 weeks, but as you know, with construction, it's a fluid process,
Yes.
So things could change, there could be delays, and our main goal is to make sure that we find the most comfortable and safe space for the animals that need to be relocated while their kennels and their areas are being affected. So we're definitely doing a lot of brainstorming and trying to find the best solutions to make sure we find comfortable and safe spaces for the cats first, and then all of the dogs in our care, which right now we are, especially for the larger breeds, any dog over 35 pounds, we are at full capacity currently. So we definitely have our work cut out for us.
Yeah, you can get information about this at greenvillepets.org. You can also just find them on Facebook, search for Greenville County Animal Care. So, Andrea, if someone listening today is interested in maybe fostering, talk with us about what is involved in fostering a pet.
Yeah, fostering is a great program. It's a short commitment that has a really lasting impact on the life of the pet. You can foster a pet, whether it's a cat or a dog, for a short period of time, whether it's a few days or a few weeks. And it provides the dogs a relief, away from the shelter. It provides them some enrichment, and it provides us also with great information on how the dogs behaved in the home, if they interacted with other people, kids, maybe other pets in the home, so that we can become more educated on the dog's personality and traits. And for you, some people are maybe not in a position right now where they can adopt and give a dog a permanent home, but fostering is a great temporary solution right now, and it can be a great experience for the pets and the companion as well.
With us today, Andrea Espinosa. Now, let's say they want to go a step beyond fostering. They'd like to give a forever home to one of the pets. Can you talk with us about that process, choosing a new member of your family and what's involved with that?
Yes, so we welcome everyone to come to the shelter and meet all of the dogs and the cats we have available for adoption. That is our ultimate goal, is to be able to find every dog and cat their permanent home. They offer us such unconditional love and are deserving of it as well. We don't want to feel like we belong and have a safe place to call home. So we want to be able to offer that to the pets in our care also. And if you have a home, a place that you can open up and make it the forever family or the permanent home for one of the pets in our care, that would be like the best happy ending that we can ask for all of the animals we have in our care right now. And in the shelter right now, we actually have bonding rooms and play areas outside where if you're interested in coming in and meeting some of our dogs, you can spend time with them outside and in that bonding room to get to know their personality. Some people say the dog chooses you. You're not just the one choosing the dog. So I feel like there's a perfect match for everyone. And we definitely have different breeds, different sizes right now that are looking for their forever home and to find their perfect companion. So we invite everyone to come to the shelter directly and meet the dogs, spend time with them, spend great quality time with them, and then find the one that they can bond with and they want to bring home and make it part of their family.
You guys do such a great job finding them homes. How many do you serve each year?
For the entire year, I believe it's certainly over 2,000.
Wow.
Like right now, with the capacity that we are at and the remodeling project, we are going to have to relocate approximately 50 animals at a time. So as you can imagine, it's a large amount of kennel spaces and animals we're dealing with. But in reality, also, we need either 50 families or 50 Greenville residents that want to step up and help us in this time of need and make it a great opportunity for them to spend good quality time with the pet, whether it's temporary by fostering or making it permanently by adopting them. But yes, we need right now at least 50 families or people at a time to help us.
Yep, and I'm looking at your website now at greenvillepets.org, and I see Harry and Orwell and Lovely and Oliver and Rambo and Kyla Grover. Oh, and you have a Jessie. We have a one of our Cocker Spaniels' name is Jessie. So lots of great companions there. Now, after you complete your renovation, Andrea, will you be able to serve more pets?
We're hoping actually to be able to free up some kennel spaces, and honestly, our main goal is to never be at full capacity. So we're trying to reduce also through this time the amount of intakes we take in, and helping families that need to rehome their pets also be able to find a home directly for them to go to without them even having to come to the shelter.
Sure.
So that's something else we want to address and ask the public's assistance with during this time. If anyone has, for example, lost or found a pet or needs to rehome the pet during this time, since we're going to be very limited in the services and the space we have in the shelter, we ask them to contact us by phone at 864-467-3950 and get in contact with us so we can help you. If you need to rehome your dog or your cat, we can help you rehome them directly without having to have the pet come through the shelter. Or also, if you have found a dog and need to find its owner or a new home for it, we can also help you as well.
Sure. Again, that website is greenvillepets.org, and go online, take a look, and if you can help out by fostering, or if you're looking for a pet for your family, go online. I'm looking at Pork Chop on here now, and Sable and Lady. A lot of wonderful dogs there. Andrew, thank you for your time today. Good luck with you, and we'll check back with you maybe in a few weeks and see how the renovation's going.
Thank you so much.
That's it for this special weekend edition of Just the Truth. Thanks for joining me in the PhD Weight Loss Studios. To lose weight for the last time, visit myphdweightloss.com. If you haven't joined my mailing list yet, visit my website, joeyhudson.com. Click on the Connect with Joey button so that you can receive our emails and the most up-to-date news. Also, join me on my YouTube channel. Be sure and like, comment, and subscribe. Just search for Joey Hudson. As always, thanks for spending a few minutes of your day with me. Do me a favor and forward this episode to a few friends. Just click on the share button and send to your contacts. We need to build an army of conservatives to win our country back, and we can do that by continuing to share the truth with our friends and family. Keep those comments coming via the Firmin Ford text line, 864-477-JOEY. Email to joey@joeyhudson.com, and I love your messages on the MyPillow message line. Again, that's 864-477-JOEY, 864-477-5639. Be sure and take advantage of the MyPillow special, just $14.88 on the standard MyPillows when you use promo code Joey. Order online at mypillow.com or call 800-893-4053. We're back again tomorrow and hope you'll plan to join us. Until then, remember, God's got this. He's still in control.